let's start, I guess, with an MCU connection here. And we'll start with talking about John Watts. And John Watts is going to be doing a Star Wars show. They announced what it was. It was kind of weird. He's been on the docket to do Fantastic Four for Marvel for what seems like since I think
Year or
what's the
two ago,
second
right?
Spider-Man? I thought it was when the second Spider-Man came out.
So yeah,
Or
probably a
maybe
year or two.
I
Yeah.
guess yeah. Whenever I guess more when the merger happened. When the merger happened, that's when they I think announced a bunch of stuff. I think it was the following D23, wasn't it? They had taken over Fox, and then I think a couple months went by, and then D23 had hit, if I remember right, and they had that big thing, and they announced John Watts was going to direct Fantastic Four. He would have been a great choice. I know he really enjoys his doing more of the John Hughes style of film, storytelling, and it works great in Spider-Man. But it was weird. It was like a week ago. It was like John Watts will no longer be directing Fantastic Four. He has pitched a Star Wars show to Disney and Lucasfilm. And the green light is the go ahead on that. And then Star Wars Celebration hits, and he goes, "I've not only pitched it, I've cast it. Jude Law will lead my skeleton crew," and that's what it's called, Star Wars Skeleton Crew. Kyle, what were your thoughts when you heard this? Come on,
Well,
what are
I
they?
think this has all been in development for some time now. I think they knew for a
Mm-hmm.
while that he was going to be off of the Fantastic Four project and probably was able to do a Star Wars project instead. Maybe he had a pitch for it to begin with, or maybe things behind the scenes happened where they just decided to remove him from Fantastic Four, but they were like, "Hey, do you want to do Star Wars? Do you want to come up with something?" And then now here we are. So when all of this happens like so close together at once between going off a project and then going on to a new one, usually I think it stands to reason that it was all in the works from I don't know, for a while now, months probably. But I like the idea of it. I mean, you are right that it seems like he does really well with handling stories surrounding younger people. So a story about a bunch of kids going through the universe of Star Wars seems to be right in his wheelhouse. I'll be curious to know how Jude Law plays into it. I haven't really heard about what character he's supposed to be playing or if it's a new character. Does he lead the kids or is he like the enemy of the kids or something like that? But one of the things I keep hearing around is that people are complaining that it's a Star Wars show with like kids as the protagonist, but yet it's not, or it's not a show for kids at the same time. And I don't know, that just seems like worrying about something that we just don't know about yet. Like odds are it could be in the vein of, movies like The Goonies, for instance, where, it's for all ages, it's not just for kids, and maybe that's the way it'll go with this Star Wars show that he has planned. So I say when it comes to that
Hmm.
worry, like just pump the brakes because we have no idea what this is yet, and who knows, maybe it will be more towards kids, which if it is, that's totally fine too.
So I'm pulled up the Hollywood Reporter article on it, talking about how Jude Law is kept secret. And that at Celebration, it's described as being in the tone of a classic coming of age adventure film from the 1980s. And the details that Lucasfilm officially put out reveal that the story is set in the New Republic era. So they that's another big thing about Star Wars. They announced that it's going to all take place after the Skywalker saga. We're not going before to generations of Jedi. We're going after. The only Jedi around is Rey. So it'll be really interesting because this is going to be a lot of Star Wars with no Jedis. So
Unless
I'm
she makes a
curious to see.
cameo.
Yeah, but so this
I
is
hope not.
described. The story is set at the New Republic era and tells the story of a group of kids lost in the Star Wars galaxy trying to find their way home. And the series is due to shoot this summer with John Favreau and Dave Filoni as executive producers.
Okay.
Um, and the writer who is writing this with John Watts set to be the developer and showrunner, I believe, and I would assume direct all the episodes. Um, the writer Christopher Ford also wrote Spider-Man: Homecoming with John Watts. So from the first, that's all from the Hollywood Reporter thing. From the first Um, the first report I remember reading said that John Watts pitched it. That it was very similar to Jon Favreau coming in and being like, "I got this idea for this Mandalorian thing," and then Kathy said, "You should talk to a man named Dave Filoni." They get together, have a ball, they rework the script, and they get Mandalorian. It sounds like that was something similar. So I don't know. To me, this feels more of passion than it does like Disney being like, we don't want you to do Fantastic Four. Go do something else, go do a little Star Wars show. It sounds like this is more passion for him. Some other things, let's see that this guy has written. Trying to see if he wrote anything amazing besides Spider-Man Homecoming. He wrote Chaos
Well,
Walking. Oh god.
hey,
Oh,
everyone's got some stinkers, I guess.
yeah,
Although
but
I haven't seen that movie myself, I certainly haven't heard good things about it.
it's not good.
Um, but at least by the sounds of it, you're right. It could be more of a passion project, and I think that's where the best, things in entertainment come from. If there's some sort of passion behind it, and not just a job for hire type situation. Not that John Watts, not that he would make something bad just because he's just a hire for the sake of hiring someone. I'm sure he would have done fine with Fantastic Four, but hey, if he's more passionate about this project and it was evident in the pitch, then fine by me. Go ahead and do Star Wars. I'm sure they'll find someone else to do Fantastic Four. There's so many other people that could do it.
And
So
maybe it's a sign that Fantastic Four is not happening as soon as we think. Because Kevin Feige did
yeah,
say, what was it? What other big event just happened? Was it a CinemaCon? Was that what it was? Um, just happened like a
yeah,
month ago.
CinemaCon.
It was
Yeah,
CinemaCon then that I believe where Kevin Feige was there, and then he said on the panel right after this, "I'm going with a bunch of executives, and we are going to map out the next 10 years of Marvel." And maybe when they
hmm
mapped it out, they said, "I don't think we're going to do Fantastic Four yet." Like a solo movie. Maybe they're going to introduce him somewhere else. Maybe they're just not going to do him. Maybe they wanted to see what would happen with Doctor Strange. And maybe they went to John and he was like, "Look, we're not going to do this movie for a while. Are you still interested?" Maybe he was like, I've got this idea for a Star Wars show. And then they're like, sweet. The fact that the Skeleton Crew show is happening quickly tells me that, a month or two ago when all that was mapped out makes a little more sense. And that this is something he's had on his mind for a while that they've casted. I love this idea of kids lost in the galaxy. Give us a good coming of age. I want like a Harry Potter 3 vibe because they are coming of age in that movie. It's darker
yeah,
in tone.
hmm
I think that's the vibe you try to aim towards. And I think this idea of a couple teenage kids lost in the galaxy where they're not sure how to get home would be very, very cool. You could run into maybe a minor fun character here and there. We could introduce new characters that would be really cool. And maybe Jude Law is the guy who finds them and is trying to help them along the way. Maybe they're high profile. Maybe it's about Broom Boy. And this is a few years later. He's grown
Oh,
up
I
a little
hope
bit
so.
and it's Broom Boy. They found out he's force sensitive and he's got to get home. Maybe it's all about Broom Boy. It's always been about Broom Boy. Um,
He was the key
but I
all
think this is
along.
a great idea. You got any other thoughts on this, or are you ready to move topics here?
You combined Harry Potter 3 and Star Wars, and now I'm just imagining what Alfonso Cuarón would do with Star Wars. I think it would be
Kyle,
glorious.
can I remind you of Gravity? What he did with Gravity? Give him the whole
Yeah, of
galaxy to play with. Alfonso Cuarón make an insane. Okay,
course he
side
would.
topic. Kyle, if Alfonso Cuarón is doing a Star Wars movie, what's he doing? Tell me. What would your dream Star Wars Alfonso Cuarón movie be?
I don't think I want him to do. Do I want him to do anything Jedi related? Probably not.
You, but
Mm.
you do. A Qui-Gon origin. You want it.
Oh, I don't think I want to know. I don't know if I.
Young
We don't
Liam
need to go
Neeson,
back to
but
the
we don't
well. Let's not
recast,
go to the
Kyle.
well.
Kyle, we don't recast. Liam Neeson's coming in. They're de-aging him, and he's going to be a 12-year-old. It's a coming-of-age story with Alfonso Cuarón.
There you go. Now you got the coming of age part. That's what I need. A coming of
But
age
seriously, what
story of.
what do you have Alfonso Cuarón do?
Do we want to go to the political part of Star Wars? Maybe not. Hmm. Would he do well with bounty hunter stuff? I don't know. Let's kick John Watts off of this and give it to Karan. Can we just do that instead?
You
His
know what's crazy?
passion project. We're gonna move with someone else.
You know what's crazy though? I'm sitting here thinking about what Alfonso Cuarón would be. I mean, he'd be great at whatever they do. They could say, "Hey, we're gonna want you make Lord of the Rings and Star Wars," and he'd be great. But if he could do anything, we talked about this with Marvel a while back, and in one of our reviews, I think for Moon Knight, might have been for Hawkeye, about I think it was Hawkeye. Because
Okay.
there's this movement going around with fans where they're like, I want A24 style movies in the MC universe. Give us like a $2 million, really deep, gritty, somebody blipped and we're doing a family drama why they blipped. And I remember saying I don't want that. And now I'm sitting here in Star Wars and I go, Alfonso Cuarón doing a movie about a family or something that is trying to survive, maybe on the run, maybe they have some
Mm.
power on a planet and the empire's coming to occupy that planet and we're just seeing how they survive. I think that's a little bit more in that A24 style vein that I think some influencers have gotten at, but not actually doing that, by doing it a little bit different, because I think that'd be kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like Alfonso
Yeah.
Cuarón having like, I don't know, maybe a family has some power and they say no to the Empire, and the Empire just says, all right, we're going to wipe you off the face of the planet. And now they're running around their own planet just trying to survive and escape. And maybe, at the end, Alfonso Cuarón only has like the young boy who then reaches for a broom, but it's too far and the Force brings it near. And Broom Boy 2 is back, baby.
Electric Boogaloo.
I wonder if something like that, Broom Boy 2 Electric Boogaloo, you heard it here first. Kyle, we're writing the show. We're pitching it to Hollywood.
This is our
Uh,
passion project.
Something like that might be kind of cool. I'm thinking along the lines too of this on the run thing. How cool would it be if John Watts took a little Catch Me If You Can influence? What if we got a Catch Me If You Can in the Star Wars universe? They're bouncing from planet to planet with somebody chasing after them. That would be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be down for that type of. It kind of sounds like that's what that show is. Is that um they're what was it exactly, like exploring planets, or they're escaping from someone? I'm sure they
For John
easily could
Watts,
be. Yeah, in the John Watts show, I'm
I think
sure that.
they're lost. They're trying to get home. I think they're trying to get
Oh,
to their
poor
home
kids.
planet and they're bouncing around on other planets.
Gotcha. I'm sure someone's gonna. There has to be some sort of conflict outside of them being lost. I'm sure that we could get like a Catch Me If You Can esque show.
What would be cool is if maybe the Empire, it takes place. I guess this is the New Republic. So maybe what it is maybe it was kids who were taken to join the First Order. Maybe at some point we learn that, since Daddy Palps is back, that maybe he was trying to get his army even bigger than it was before, and they went to the point where they're just forcing children. I mean, I guess we knew that with Finn. Finn says, I was taken from a family I never knew. Maybe it's following that, and it's going to be kids at the fall of the First Order in this New Republic, and they were just starting their training. They were just taken from home, and maybe they go into an archive. They see, oh, we're from this planet. We need to get there, and that's the journey of this show: is how do we get there? Maybe that's something that they're trying, but yeah, I don't know. I just excited. I like John Watts. He's made 3 great Spider-Man movies. He has not made a bad movie in the MCU. I don't see why he's going to make a bad show, but uh yeah, you got any other things there, pal? You look deep in
No,
thought.
I just enjoy listening to you. You have
No one
the most
does.
majestic voice.